Okay. So three different types of economy. Planned or command economy. Planned or command economy are those economies where decisions are made centrally. How do you mean by centrally decision made? Decisions made centrally, I mean, head of the state will make the decisions about three economic questions. Three. What are those three economic questions? Number one.
What to produce.
Exactly, what to produce. Number
How to
two,
produce.
how to produce. Very good.
For whom to produce and where to
For
produce, I think.
Whom to produce or how much to
produce. Yeah.
Okay. So these are the questions needs to be answered. That's the main thing in any economy. Okay. So what we normally do is just we give these answers by three ways. One, it can be done, all these three questions can be answered by one way, which is called planned economy. Government will make all the decisions. Kim Jong-un, North Korea, they follow command economy, communist countries. They follow command economy. So Kim Jong-un will make all the decisions about what to produce, how to produce, for whom to produce, or how much to produce. So if the head of the state thinks that, okay, my country, we will have some hard time regarding our food, accommodation, those things, but we feel threatened from our outsiders. So we need to protect. They feel that is our first thing to do. I'm not criticizing any government. I'm not going to say, hey, this government good, that government bad, this good or that, but that's not my concern. I will talk in a positive manner. So if the citizen of that country and the head of the state agree with these things, that's their choice. They choose command economy. Okay? So everything. So government will decide everything for them. Now, next is about market economy. In freer market economy means, here comes when you talk about market, I would like to add here two more words, which is buyer and seller. Buyer and seller will decide what to produce, how to produce, how much to produce. Okay? So now, how come buyer and seller will decide? So do they meet before they produce something? Well, no, they do not have any official meeting. Sometimes they might have official meeting too. Let's say a big buyer, he has an demand. A country like, let's say Australia need a big boring machine to make tunnel. Okay, we have West Connects tunnel, M4 tunnel, then M7 tunnel, North Connects tunnel. These tunnels they try to produce. So they need a boring machine. They made an order to the Germany. So buyer and seller knows what they want. But in economy-wise, when you talk about economy-wise, how do they do? Does the Apple computers, do they actually have a meeting with buyer and decide what will be the design? Not really. They do market research. They do market research. They use statistics. They use data. Okay. They need to understand the customer's pulse. They need to understand the market demand, what market wants, what the buyer wants. That's how it means. Okay. In here, everything is profit motive. In market economy, everything is profit motive. Everything decided by the market. So how much will be labor wage? How much will be my labor? And before I go to the market economy, I'll talk about mixed economy. Okay, let me give you a little hint. The mixed economy is very, very short, just one line. Mixed economy is where a country uses both economy. It means government interferes and also market decides. Both is there. So why government need to interfere actually? That's where to make these decisions, we have to talk about price control. To answer this question, we have to talk about price control. Why government need to interfere and control the price? Okay. To make you understand this topic, I have to actually tell you some background, what's actually happening. Okay, so that's why you need to understand these things. It's the economic question, what are the questions in economy, and how they solve these questions through economics, different ways they solve it. Now, let's move on. So, in reality, it's very rare to find a market economy where everything decided by the market. Not possible. Why not possible? Let's dig a little bit deeper in here. Let's see what actually the issue. Okay. So I'll give you some examples. Some of you might find it uncomfortable, but that's the truth, reality. Okay. All right. Let's say because as I told you at the very beginning of the first of the class, I told you, economics will teach you, okay, how people act rationally. How do you mean by rationally? Rationally, we mean in the sense that you actually work for your best interest. And people will be responsive to the incentives. So first incentives you always consider about the cash benefits, money, benefits, interest, opportunities, opportunistic behavior. All right. Let's say a disabled person wants to work. Do you think any employer going to employ him if government do not interfere? No, they will not. Even they hire, they will try to pay him less salaries. One thing. Second thing I'll talk about in here. Let's say rent is another issue. If there is less house available for rent or for leasing, the problem will be there are a lot of customers available. So there will be competition for people to actually pay higher prices and they will confirm their shelter. It will happen. If there is food crisis, people will pay a lot of money to buy food. In COVID time, we have seen that. Prices gone up. People in panic. People start to feel like, okay, there will be less, there will be shortage of food, let's store it. It happens. We'll see this thing from different perspective. Okay, all right. Now, so government interfere. Look, when in a market economy, we should not have any restrictions how much we can buy. Buyer will decide. Buyer is there to buy, seller is there to sell. See? That's the market economy is about. But government interferes. Government comes and put restrictions. You cannot have more than 2 items at a time. 2 toilet paper, you're going to take more than 2. They bring restrictions in here. You see, the government interferes. That's how you create the mixed economy. And government must have to interfere. Why? Because there are a lot of things there which is not all about money. What the market economy advocates suggest. And more interesting thing is this: we human, we have greed. I should not talk like this way, that greed, this is not a very good word, greed. That's why we say a very nice way, we say that humans are responsive to incentives. Okay. So yes, and this responsiveness, this responses becomes harder and harder day by day. They need more and more. Okay, that's the problem we have. Okay, that's why you will see the prices are going up and up and up, and the government get upset. Government interferes in there. Also think about fire service, for example, police service, for example. If these things are in market, if government will interfere on fire service, what happens? If you do not pay, nobody is going to put off your fire. Nobody is going to extinguish your fire. Police will not go and protect you unless you pay. That will be the market economy situation. But government need to interfere. Okay. Yes. Government need to interfere. Government. That's how the mixed economy comes in. So how government interferes? That's what you're gonna check. Government interferes through price controlling. Okay. And lots of policies. Government brings up lots of policies as well. But in this chapter, we'll talk only how the government interferes through price controlling. Okay. Price controlling is the only way to government interfere. It's not the only one way. Government will interfere in various other ways too. Okay, they will create different policies. Government will bring up different boost up system. They will bring up. Okay, we'll talk about it more and more. Okay, now one of the system price controlling, how it works. Let's have a look. So government intervenes in market and sets minimum or maximum price of a good or services. Okay, minimum higher than the free market price is price floor. Okay, how it works. I will explain you first, then you read these things, then you'll understand. Okay, let me explain you in an easier way, so that if you guys read this thing, then you guys can relate it. I don't have to explain all of them in like this. Okay, have a look. This is the one. They gave you an example here for price flow, which is labor market. Okay, so they're showing you here, the example is there, wages, rate, and number of labors. Interesting thing, look, what we do is normally, remember that when we draw our graphs, how do we draw? This side, the y-axis is always our what? Y-axis is always price, remember? Y-axis is price. And x-axis is our quantity, right? So now if you notice in here, that's how we set it in here too. Number of labors, you see? Number of labors is our quantity. So what is the product here? What are we selling? We are selling our hard work. We're selling our hard work. That's the market. We call that labor market. Okay? Labor means hard works. Laborer means the workers. Okay? And here, price. Price means how much is the price of your 1 hour's hard work. That's the wage rate. See that? So our y-axis is price here, and x-axis is our quantity here. Make sense, guys? Okay. If you guys don't understand any of the thing that I say, just stop me, okay? Don't hesitate to stop me. Yes. Now we're gonna draw. This is the line you can see here. This is your demand curve, demand line. Labor demand. And this is your supply line, labor supply. Very simple. Look, it has been treated exactly like any other product. It has been treated here. Okay. Don't think that I'm trying to say that humans are product. It's not like that. I'm talking about how you're selling your hard work, your skills, your expertise. That's what I'm talking about. How you sell yourself into the market. Okay. Yes. There's a bit when you will go into job market, that time you guys will feel it, understand it, how competitive the market is to sell yourself into the market for a job. your work, your expertise to sell into the market, okay? You will feel it when you go into the job. Yeah, some of you already are in the job, so you guys know these things, what I'm saying, okay? Now, so this is our equilibrium point. So look, market is deciding this many of my this is my demand curve, supply curve, and we got the equilibrium point. Equilibrium price is your market price. Always, equilibrium price is your market price. So look, equilibrium price here is 800. Wages rate is 800. Okay, maybe I think weekly, maybe or monthly. Anyway, we'll see. And how many labors available? Let's say 10. Okay, this is the labors. So equilibrium is market needs 10 labor. Okay, market needs 10 labor, and $800 is their salary, wages.
No, it's just an online class.
Did someone ask me a question?
Oh, sorry. So my microphone was on.
Oh, okay, that's all right. I'm going to mute you all, okay? When you need to talk to me, unmute yourself and talk to me, okay? So that I will not hear any background of your noise, okay? Yeah, so I'm allowing you to unmute yourself and ask me questions when you have one. All right. So you can see here, so this is our equilibrium point. So it means that if we set $800 as our salary, then you will see all my labors have been satisfied. 10 equilibrium. So I do not have extra labor or short labor. This is the situation. But it happens sometimes. The problem is this, that let's say this 800 is not good enough for the workers. Okay. But market is not increasing it. Government will interfere. Government will say, no, you have to give the minimum 900. Minimum means minimum price. It means price floor. Make sense? So where the price floor will be? Price floor will be always above the equilibrium line. See? Price floor will be above the equilibrium line. Okay. So as a result, what happens? Government increases the salary, wages. Government interferes and says, no, you have to give my citizen minimum salary wages of 900. I understand market is actually going 800 because, look, at one stage you'll find in employment, employers are in the upper hand. They decide how much will be salary. You do not decide how much your salary will be as a labor. Okay. So as a employer, you are also as a human, and you also have that incentives from this you are responsible to the incentives. You're also looking for your incentives. So you will, as an employer, always they will try to pay as minimum as possible. As a result, market price will go down slowly. Okay, so government must have to interfere. When government interferes, okay, so what government will do? Minimum price government will always set above the equilibrium. Of course, that's why government not going to put it below the equilibrium. Equilibrium is not working already. Equilibrium price is already not enough. So government is not going to put it down, don't not put it up. Okay, so government interfere and say that no, the price will be 900. So can we remember now that price floor is always above the equilibrium. Okay, and price ceiling is actually below. Remember that price ceiling is always below the equilibrium. Okay, below the equilibrium. Yes, here. Now let's talk a little bit about what is this price flow? How do they mean it here? Why do they do these things? Okay. Minimum higher than the free market price flow. Now we understand this. Minimum means higher than the free market price. Okay, minimum price is price flow. The justification why you need to do that. Okay, look at here. To create producers' income, to create a surplus, minimum rates of pay to prevent workers' wages from falling below a certain level. Okay. Now you can ask me questions that how it is going to actually create surplus. Okay, have a look. So when government increases when government put a bar restrictions, the minimum wage should be above. So when it goes above, then what happens? Employers have to pay more. So it means that the price of the hard work has gone up. So when the price goes up, what's the rule? The demand will go down. As a result, when the demand at $800, demand was 10. Now when you increase the price to 900, demand is 8. So now look, when price was 800, that time 10 people was working. When price is actually 800, 10 people was working. When price is 900, only 8 people is being, what happened? 8 people is being recruited. What's happening at the end of the day? You have your unemployment increasing. Okay. Now another thing is that, so this is from the producer's perspective, the demand side. But look at the supply. How many laborers are willing to work? So at $800 wages, 10 people are willing to work. And they all got the job. But as soon as the government increased the price from 800 to 900, more people want to work now. As a result, supply has increased, you see. Supply was here 10, now the supply is 12. But at $900, demand is only 8. So as a result, you will see these 4 people, the difference between from A to B, 4 people is your surplus. You have extra 4 people you have. This is your unemployment causes. Okay. Okay. To protect producers' incomes, another thing comes up in here as well, like who are the producer in labor market actually? The producer in labor market are the labor themselves. So their income needs to be protected. Make sense? Yes. So if they do this thing, what will be the effect? Effect will be there will be surplus of labor. Okay. Surplus of labor and there will be unemployment. Make sense? What are the consequences? So now government have to deal with the surpluses, then government have to think about their social security policies. Another thing comes up, cushion inefficiency. Okay, there will be like let's say there will be more people you will find, okay, that not working. Okay, because before it was like 10 people was working before. Now how many people is working? 8 people. These 2 people is actually slowly getting rusty. It's another inefficiency will come up slowly. Okay. And discourage production of more efficient alternative product. So here the product is labor. So when they will see that there is unemployment into the market, yes, salary is high, but there is not much job, people will be discouraged to become a labor. That will be the problem. Higher prices for consumers. Consumers are the employer, are the consumers of the labor. Remember? For them it is higher prices. Okay. Yeah, so their consumption will go down. So this is actually your. Now let's go a little bit back here. Now we'll talk a little bit more in here. All right. So now, when this is the situation you have in here. Okay. Now if it happens that, so look at here. It's all this triangle in here. So I'm trying to notice here at $800 price. Okay. What is your consumer surplus? Consumer surplus will be from this pink one, blue rectangle, this one, and this light blue one, this one. This much is your consumer surplus. Producer surplus, this one, yellow, and this blue one. This is a producer surplus. And total surplus, all of them together, total surplus. Okay. This one thing. Another thing I'm going to talk about is here called deadweight loss. What is deadweight loss? Okay. If it happens, okay, if it happens that economy has decided, the market decided the equilibrium price as 800. So it means that at $800, 10 people are there who is willing to work, their efficiency. Okay, that's the best situation. Now, because the price has increased, what happened? That they're actually recruited by only 8 people now. Now here there is a gap has been created in here, you see. There is a loss, okay? There is a loss in your surpluses from consumer side and also from producer side. See, the consumer surplus will be actually decreased as well as producer surplus will be also decreases. The consumer surplus and producer surplus that has been decreased here, this triangle here. You can see this triangle in here. Okay, let me see if I can annotate in here. So this, let me take blue. Okay, so this one, this triangle. Oh, okay. So this one, and this one, this triangle. This part is your deadweight loss, this triangle. Okay, this triangle in here. Okay, so you have to, this is the deadweight loss. What is deadweight loss? Deadweight loss means that what you could efficiently supply. Okay, also think this way, that when it was $800, that time it was efficiently, it was satisfying demand and supply. Okay, but now it is not efficient. Why not efficient? Because they could actually use 10 people with $800. That's how they see. So because of these 2 people is not being recruited, so what happening? We are actually losing. Okay, that's why we call it deadweight loss. Remember this. All right. Eraser. Okay. That's all. That's all we have in here. So in this situation, look at here. So this is your, like this one they have given example in here. This is about quantity rent. So rent and labor. Normally these 2 examples we normally use mainly, and these 2 government interferes also very frequently. Okay, here is another one. Okay, here, look at this. Rent is given here, and here is the number of available housing. How many houses are available? Okay, if the rent is dollars per unit per month, so rent is, let's say, $20. 1 unit rent is $20 a month. Then, and at $20, 72 house owners agree to supply. And also 72 tenants are actually going to rent. But government feels that this price is very high. And government will come up and say, no, maximum price you can set as 16. Okay, so government gives you a price ceiling restriction. Highest you can charge actually 16. Why government interfering? To reduce the rent. Remember that. Reduce the rent means you're pushing the ceiling down. So the ceiling is in here, rent ceiling. Government says 16, so house owners are not happy. 44 people agreed to give the houses for renting at $16. Okay, again, we have deadweight loss in here, these two. Okay, and you can see the consumer surplus, producer surplus. Okay, the whole thing will be consumer surplus. This and these two all together, from this much, and this whole thing will be your 30 to this point, to this purple point and this point, all together will be a consumer surplus. Okay, that's it. Now let's go back to our thing, perfect competition. Okay, this is not many slides today, not much, very small, but long topic. Okay. 17 slides. Market structure. What is market structure? Market structure defines you, the competitiveness of the market. Competitiveness within the market. So we have 4 different types of market structure. What are these 4? Number 1, perfect competition. Number 2, monopolistic competition. 3, oligopoly and monopoly. These 4. Okay. Perfect competition, monopolistic competition, oligopoly, and monopoly. We'll talk about one by one. We'll talk now today. Today I will talk about perfect competition and monopoly. I'll talk only these 2 today. Okay, perfect competition and monopoly. Now let's talk about perfect competition. What is perfect competition? Perfect competitive market is a hypothetical market structure where many small farms selling homogeneous product to a large number of buyers. Examples. What are the examples? Agricultural products, financial products, exchange rate market. These things are very competitive market, perfectly competitive. So what are the characteristics of perfect competition? The characteristics are these assumptions in here. Large number of buyers and sellers. There will be lot of buyers, lot of sellers. Selling identical or homogeneous products, similar, same product. What is the same product? Every product is same. All the product, there are some products like soap. All the Palmolive are same. It's not about Palmolive. Soap has lots of brands. But in perfectly competitive market, there will be no brand. All are same. Example, let's say red potatoes. There's no variety, that's it, red potato. All the red potatoes, wherever you go. Same. Okay. Then you go for, like, for example, let's say cauliflower. Oh, is there anybody can see special cauliflower? No. Cauliflower is same. All everywhere the same cauliflower. Spinach, same. Like this type of agricultural product. Financial product. Okay. Savings account. Everywhere the same savings account. Different, nothing difference in here. Exchange rate market, very competitive. Like Australian dollar, US dollar, they don't have no exchange rate. So it's the same thing. Nobody can say, no, my American dollar is special dollar than another seller's dollar. No, that's funny. Okay, yes. So that's why they says that in perfectly competitive market, everything will be same. So when the product is same, why there will be change in price? Okay, price should remain the same. That's why they say in perfectly competitive market will decide what will be the price. The demand, depending on the demand and supply, they decide what will be the price of the product. That's why you will see cauliflower sometimes very high price, sometimes very low price. Tomatoes the same, avocado the same. See? Yeah, sometimes because season, lots of supply, price falls down. Not season, or there are some natural disaster or drought or heavy rain, some problem, that's it, shortage. Price goes up. So market will decide what will be the price, demand and supply. Okay. Do you want me to show you how the price goes up? Have a look. Interesting, very interesting. Look. I'll draw these things in here. I think I'll draw it in whiteboard. That will be easier. Whiteboard. Okay, draw this line. Okay. So you guys know this is price. This is quantity. Price and quantity. Okay. Now I'm going to draw a demand and supply curve. So let's say this is my demand curve. And let's say this is my supply curve. And here is my, let's say, equilibrium point. Okay. That's my equilibrium situation. Price. Okay. How the price changes? Have a look. Have a look how the price changes. Let's say that because of some reasons, okay, the season, for example, avocado season. When the avocado season in there, what happens? There are a lot of supply increases. So here is your supply increases. Supply increase will be, it will be shift on the right side. See? So this is your new supply. This one, second one, new supply. And now you see, this is your new price. See that? New price is down. Price dropped. Can you see? Now I'll show you opposite way. Now let's say season is very bad. This is equilibrium position. Season is very bad. There is a drought, not much supply. Supply reduced. Supply will be decreasing. Supply will be shifting to the left. See? When supply goes to the left, and so if you supply shortage, price increases. Make sense? That's how you draw it. The rule of economics is this, drawing graphs is this. Remember, moving along the line and shift of the line, always apply that rule. When curve will shift, when curve will move along the line. Always you have to apply that rule. Here, why I shifted the line? Because supply has increased because of drought. Sorry, supply has decreased because of drought. Remember? If supply decreases because of price, then only it will move along the line. Otherwise, it will be always shift of the line. Okay? In a demand and supply diagram, okay, if supply has changed because of price, there will be a shift in there will be movement along the line. But if supply changes not because of price, but for any other reason, whatever it is, there will be a shift of the line. Okay. In this case, we said that shifted to the left. Why? Because price decreased. And you can also notice here, look at here also. Before supply was in here in the past, when it was in equilibrium position, old equilibrium position, now the new equilibrium position, price has, see, supply has decreased. Okay, see that? So black lines are actually your indicators, it tells you the measurement. But our target to understand here, blue and what is this one? Yeah, yellow, dark yellow. Okay, that's what you understand. Okay, I remove these things, you see. You guys might get confused with so many lines. It's just 3 lines. Demand and supply, then second one, supply has changed shift. So you guys can now to draw and make it understand where the lines actually strike, then you can see the measurement, you can see that and see that. Okay, this is the thing is our drawing techniques. Okay, now let's go back to our. All right. Now, this says no barriers to entry and exit from the market. So anytime any business can enter into the market, anytime any business can get out of the market. No problem with that. Farms are price taker individually. See, that's what I said. Farms are the price taker. They take the price. So who make the price? Price is made by market or in perfectly competitive market. In monopoly market, price is decided by the market, by the company itself, producer. That is called price maker. We'll talk about that later. Next, another thing you have to understand here that in a perfectly competitive market, if someone is in the market for a long time and someone just joined the market, there is no difference. Same thing. It doesn't matter. Okay, so you can see. So now, since perfectly competitive market, the price is very strict price, and the market decides the price. Okay, and the market decides the price. So you can see here, this is the market here. Industry is your market. When you talk about industry or market, you actually mean lot of producers, all the producers you mean. When I talk about industry, it means all the people who produce in red potatoes. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, perfectly competitive market, let's say red potato market. Example. So in industry, here is the millions, here is the price, here is the quantity. So you can just, this is supply, and blue line is your demand. So you can see here, this is your price. That's industry's diagram. But if you think from a company's perspective, firm's perspective, organization's perspective, okay, let's say one company's name is Vista Potato Growers, one company. Okay, how it will look like there from their perspective. Okay, now look at here. This is the only one line they will have in perfect competition, on horizontal line. Why? Because look at here, this is the demand curve is this one. This demand curve. This is also your average revenue, also your marginal revenue. Why? Let's say price of potato is $2. I say here $2. Let's say this is $2. Okay, a kilo. So whatever he produces, the price will be same $2, no changes. It's not like that okay, well, price increases, then I will actually produce more. No, potato market doesn't. Agriculture market doesn't work like that. Lentils, potatoes, avocados, cauliflower, same. You already made the production. And you put it into the market, and you will see the price. And the price is $2, and it is a straight line. Now, what about the quantity you produce? Price is same. And this is your demand curve. This is also your average revenue line, also marginal revenue line. Why is that? Because price is $2. So what is average revenue? Average revenue means per kilo price is average revenue. So it's $2. Marginal revenue means what? To sell 1 extra kilo. Nobody's going to buy from you at $2.10. No, it's $2. Market is all the time the same price everywhere. Okay? And I'm not talking about consumer level. I'm talking about the wholesaler level, how they're going to sell it. That's why marginal revenue is also $2. Okay? Yes. Now it comes in and says this is the industry. So industry is like as it is. Industry is not changing. Farms, from the farm's perspective, this is the average costing. Since the price, they cannot do anything from the price perspective. The market will decide the price. Now they can actually play around with their average costing. Okay, that's your average costing thing. Okay. So now it's happened that your average cost will actually go down at the beginning. Okay. When your costing is above the price line, when your average costing is above the price line, it means you are in loss. When your average costing will be below the price line, okay, you will be making profit. At one stage, again, you will see average costing will increase. So this is the time, this is the production level that you have that will give you some profit. Okay, see that? From here to here. So how it works? Let's see how it works. Okay. Look at here, interesting thing in here. You can see in industry, what's happening in industry, look at here. Your supply is in here and demand is in here. Okay. So your price will actually drop. Why price dropped? Because of demand drops. See? When the demand will drop, price will drop in the market. That's what they want to say in this diagram in industry. And these ones in the other side, you see here, this is your supply. And you can see here the price line. This is your price line. Okay. And that's your average cost line. Average variable cost, average cost line. Okay. So since in farms, this horizontal line is your demand curve. So you can see the equilibrium price is in here. Okay, so this is your marginal cost curve, is your supply curve in here. Okay, always remember, in perfect competition and in monopoly market, marginal cost always will be acting as your supply curve. Why? I will explain soon why. What does marginal cost tells you? To produce one extra unit, how much will be your costing? Okay, so marginal cost will decide whether we are going to make the supply or not. So if you see your marginal cost is above the average, above the price, okay, when your marginal cost is above the price, you do not produce. When marginal cost is below the price, you can produce that extra item. Okay. Yes. So this will be depending on your demand as well. So demand will decide your price too. Demand will be deciding your price as well. Okay. So demand in the market is very important in here. Okay. So now, how do you decide the pricing? You say price is equal to marginal cost, marginal revenue, average revenue, all are same. That's why we always say that in marginal cost, in a perfect competition, okay, the firm actually makes, economically, the firms makes zero profit. Firm cannot make profit. Okay, we say in the long run, in perfect competition, in the long run we're talking about, not short run. In the long run, in perfect competitive market, firms do not make profit. Zero economic profit they make. How it is? I have to show you the supply side. That graph is not here. I'll draw the graph and I'll show you how. So let's say this is our S1. Okay. This is our S1. This is our S2. This is our, let's say, S3. This is our S4. Okay. Now, interesting thing you notice here, some basic things of human behavior is this. When there will be some incentives in any business, people will enter into that business. People will be entering into that business. When there is some incentives in the business, people will be opening that business. So now, if it happens that this is your supply curve in here, okay, your price is in here. So let's go in, price is in here, okay, and the supply is in here. Supply is in here. So people are making profit and everything was very nice. They're doing very good. Here's the price. Let's say the average costing in below this and everybody's making prices. Okay, so let's draw the average cost curve now. Let's say this is the average cost curve. Okay, so what happens is this. When now you can see the average costing is below. See, average costing is in here. Look at here. At this quantity, costing is in here. Costing is in here. The average quantity. and the price is here, so they're making a profit. Since they are making profit, other entrepreneurs, they will see, yes, they are making profit in this sector. People will start entering into that business. They see incentives, they see profit. As soon as the new supplier entering into the market, supply increases. Supply increases means, see, look, supply increases in here. Huh? When the supply increases, as a result, look at here, price dropping. See, as a result, the price dropped. See, price dropped it here. But interesting thing is this, price drop, that's true. But still, the price is above the variable cost. So variable cost in here. Okay. Variable cost at this quantity, variable cost is in here. See, variable cost here below. Still there is profit. More people will join. See, other people join, keep supplying. As a result, price will again drop. Price will drop. Look at here. More people supplying, price is again dropping. And look at here, the quantity increases, price dropped. More people entering the market, since there is some profit. So now, so many people has entered into the market, so much supply has increased into the market. As a result, look, price has fallen below the average cost line. See the average cost line, the black line in a concave line? It's below this. Now they see the loss. When they see the loss, nobody's, because there is no loss means there is no incentives. Nobody's entering into the market. Make sense? At this point, again, people are giving loss. As a result, some people will leave the market with a huge loss. So supply will decrease again. When the supply will decrease, gone. Supply decreased, again the price will go up because of supply shortage. Make sense? Yeah. Again, when the supply again will come to the point, so when it keeps going up and down, the supply curve, or the entering into the market of the suppliers, okay, and exiting the market, you know what happens? It goes in such a situation. Now, even now, you see, if the supply is in here, again, people will come up. End of the day, they will be actually at this point, okay, see where, at this point, where the average cost line and the price will intersect. That's the point people will be supplying. Okay, so the supply curve, it will come up actually at this point, here. Okay, then people will stop coming. And which point is that? This is the point where average cost and price is same. So if the cost and price is same, is there a profit? No. That's what we're talking about. That's what you're talking about. There is no profit. Okay, very hard to make profit in here. That's why we say in the long run means people coming in, going out, coming in, going out. That's how we mean the long run. Okay, a lot of people enter into the business, and a lot of people will be exiting the business. Why? And how is it possible? Because according to the perfect competition market law, there is no barrier in enter and exit into the market. There is no problem to enter into the market. There is no problem to exit the market. So people will be coming. When they will be coming? When they will see a profit. Where is the profit? When the price line is above the average variable cost line. Okay. When the price is exactly at this point, you see here, exactly at this point, look, average variable line, price line, okay, average variable line, price line, all the lines are actually at this one point. Okay. Also the quantity, everything is in one point. This is the point. Okay, that's how we mean. Okay. So this will be your, see, this will be price line, this will be also your demand line, all of this. This is the line. Price line, demand line, average revenue, average marginal revenue, average cost, all of the same line. Okay, that's how they mean here. Let's go back. Okay, this is the thing. Is it clear now? Why the price line, marginal cost, marginal revenue, average revenue, all are same line, same point? Average cost too. Not only MC, AC as well. Okay. So that's what they mean they're saying here. And if you read, you'll understand these things. Okay. Now, short-run profit. Yes, in the short run, there is profit. In the long run, there is no economic profit. In the short run, who is get the profit? Who will enter into the market at the very beginning? They will get the profit. Okay, they will be in the profit. Who entered the market at the very beginning? When the other entrepreneurs, they did not realize there is incentives in this market yet. Like in perfect competitive market, this is the thing. Who enter into the market very beginning, very early, they make a better profit. But in the long run, the profit will become zero. Because so many people will enter into the market, that market will be so tight. Market will be so tight that, because it's a homogeneous product. So everybody has the same red potato. Okay. Yes. So market will be so tight that average cost and the price is exactly same. Okay. But at the beginning, there is profit. How do you calculate the profit at the beginning? Look at profit equal to total revenue minus total cost. That's your profit. Okay. And this says here, quantity will be equal to price minus average cost. That's how I told you too. Price minus average cost, that's your profit per unit. Multiply it with quantity, total profit you will get. Okay. So here, the short run, we said it. If your price is below average cost line, you have loss. If your price is above the average cost line, you will make profit. In this case, look at here, average cost line is above the price line. Where is our price line? Here, this blue line is our price line. Remember I told you, demand, average revenue, everything is in here, price line. Okay. So where is your average cost? Is here, red one. Okay. There will be a loss. Okay. But if the profit above line, it will be profit. Okay. If price line is high, it will be profit. Yes. The firm incurs a loss at optimum output price is below AC. Here is AC. You see the AC? Yeah, so price is below the AC line. That's your loss. Did you see? So how much you're producing? You're producing this quantity here. See, MC is your supply curve. I told you before. Marginal cost curve is supply curve, and this line, price line, is your demand curve. See? So this is the point. So this demand curve and supply curve this is the equilibrium point. So it means you are producing this much in this quantity. So at this quantity, extend the line. You will see where it touches the average cost. Here is cost line is in here, but the price is here. So you can see this much is your loss. Okay, the shaded blue line is your loss. Okay. All right. Long run equilibrium under perfect competition. Okay. Long run average cost, this long run average cost curve, you see it here. Okay. So this says here that where the long run average cost curve and demand curve intersect, this is the one, that's your equilibrium point here. And I already told you about the market. I showed you about the market. In the long run equilibrium, there will be zero profit, and the supply will increase up to certain stage where supply will increase up to certain stage where long run average cost curve and the price line will be same. Yeah, you can see here. So here is a long run average cost curve. So like in there, I showed you in here. Here, you see, long run average cost curve. In the long run, I told you, it will be in the long run, it will happen. Okay, so let's remove this. Actually, remove this one and remove these two. Yeah, this is supply curve and this demand curve. Here they're going to stop in the long run. Okay, at the beginning, supply was here. Remember, the supply increase. It increased so much it even got loss. Then some people left the market, and how many people left? Only those people left where the long run average cost and the price intersect. So these things we showed in here. Yeah. So long run average cost curve and the demand curve or the price line intersect. This is the thing. This is the point. Okay. And this is the supply. And for industry perspective, supply will be here. Supply increases. How far supply will increase? Where the long run average cost curve and demand curve intersect till this much. So here. Okay, you can see the line, draw the line, then draw this. Shutdown in PC. Two things, shutdown and exit. Interesting thing, shutdown and exit. What is shutdown, what is exit? Shutdown means that you shut down the business temporarily. You shut down the business temporarily. Exit means that you leave the business permanently. Okay. So when do you shut down? Okay. If total revenue is more than total variable cost, the firm should continue to operate in the short run. The firm should continue to operate in the short run. How do you mean? Okay, let's say it. Okay, I'll explain you better. Look at this way. In here, total cost, okay, is equal to fixed cost plus variable cost. Total cost is fixed cost plus variable cost. Fixed cost is fixed. Okay, you always have to pay. So variable cost is the cost that you have to pay when you are going to decide to go for production. When you go for production. That's variable cost. So this says here, if your revenue is greater than the variable cost, you should continue to operate the short run. How do you mean? So let's say your variable cost is equal to $200 million. 200 million. And your fixed cost is, for example, let's say, I should say your total variable cost. That will make sense. Total fixed cost. Total fixed cost, for example, let's say $500 million. Okay. So every item you sell, selling price, let's say, is or total revenue generated. Okay. Yes. Okay, let's say you produce 100 items. Okay. 100 items, and we generated selling by 100 items for, let's say, $300. Okay. The total variable cost of 100 items is $200. Okay, so selling around $3 an item. Okay. Now, interesting thing here, look at interesting thing is in here, look. So your revenue, this is your total revenue, $300, that's the total revenue. Your total revenue will be able to pay off your total variable cost, plus also be able to pay off 100 million of your fixed cost. See that? So they suggest that you keep continue production. When you will find that, okay, when you will find that the total variable cost, okay, is above your revenue. Your revenue cannot cover your selling average total variable cost. Okay, that means every item you're, let's say here is 150, for example, 150 total revenue. Look, you're having a loss. You could not even, each item you're selling, you're giving a loss. Make sense? So produce an item for 100 items. Okay, it means, so you can, or you can say average variable cost is equal to, you can say $2. And selling price, you can say $3. Okay. Selling price is equal to $3. So look, selling price is $3. For in this case, 1.5 actually. 1.5. So now look, you produce one item, your 50 cent is loss. Forget about recovering total fixed cost. Should you produce? No. Stop. And wait for the price to go high. Make sense? This is called shutdown. When you're waiting temporarily, you are shut down, you're waiting for the price to go high. All right? Yes, that's called shutdown position. The firm continues to produce until unit price means selling price, is in our case 1.5, equal to minimum point of the average variable cost. So keep continue producing. How far you have to produce? Keep continue producing when this is still 2. Selling price and variable cost is same. Keep producing till 2. Okay. So keep production. Selling price variable cost is same. Keep production till this. When you will see the selling price is going below the average variable cost, stop production. Make sense? Revenues cannot cover the fixed cost and variable cost. The firm should better shut it down. In the long run, competitive market earns a normal profit, since supernormal or economic profit. Okay. If price falls below minimum of ABC and the loss makes exit the market from the industry. Okay. Now, if you see that price is always ABC is the price fixed, no choice of going high, shut down. That's it. Okay. Yes. Now let's talk about monopoly. So monopoly refers to a market where there is only one seller and lots of buyers. Single producer or seller that has a control in the entire market. Single farm supply for the whole industry. Example, Windows, Microsoft Windows. For Macintosh, iOS. So what are the characteristics? Barriers to entry. Entering into this market is hard. Why? Huge capital. Number one, I will say huge capital is needed. Did they say that? Okay. Huge capital, number one. Okay. Economies of scale, decreasing average total cost. When average total cost is decreasing, firm is making huge profit. Okay. Lower cost for an established firm, high, here it is. So when, as a result, since this average total cost is going to reduce, so it will be lower cost for established firm, but high startup cost for the new firm. As a result, a lot of companies cannot start up. Product differentiation. What is product differentiation? Product has some unique characteristics that no other product has it. Another problem is that the ownership of key factors of productions. Only the monopoly market, the producer controls the raw materials, inputs of the product. They take legal protections, copyright, franchise, patent rights, these things. What we have already discussed. Merger and takeovers. Even someone starts up, okay? Someone start up, other business is gonna go, the existing business is gonna go and take over a small business. How do they do that? They apply aggressive tactics, yes. Bunnings did these things with masters. Ulert Group, okay? They actually tried to set up an, oh, I'll show you another interesting thing in here now. You guys are gonna like it, I believe. Okay, I'll show you very soon. Okay, very soon I'll show you. Okay, in Australia, there is not much competition in hardware industry, hardware market. Like construction, building, this market, I mean, Bunnings. There are some, not as extensive like Bunnings. So Ulert Group actually tried to open one, Masters. Bunnings reduces their price so much, oh my God, they reduces their price so much, it went below the cost price. Masters could not survive. Within a year, they had to sell it off. Guess who bought them, bought their products? All of them. Who bought it? Bunnings. Lovely. Price maker, they make the prices. In monopoly market, they decide the prices. The demand curve of the monopolist is average revenue curve is the demand curve. Okay, average revenue which slopes downward from industry. Okay, have a look in here. This is the one. Okay, so you can see it here. Yes. So you see here, average revenue curve is your demand curve in here. Marginal cost curve is your supply curve, as I said before. Okay. And this is the line they showed you as a marginal revenue curve. So you can see here the supply and demand. So this is your efficient market. This is your efficiency level. This market equilibrium is in here. Let me annotate. Yeah. See? This is your, I will say here, QE. This was your QE. Q, QE, equilibrium. So this is equilibrium. Oh, no, go up. Okay, this is equilibrium point. And price was supposed to be at here. See? Price was supposed to be here. Let me write it down, PE. PE, equilibrium price. That was supposed to be the market. But monopoly plays around. What do they play? They will not produce efficient level market demand. They will produce less than the demand. Okay? How much less? So we have a rule. The rule is monopoly firm will produce where the marginal cost curve and marginal revenue curve intersect. Always remember these guys. Monopoly company will produce where the marginal cost line, this is the green line, marginal cost line curve, and the marginal revenue line intersect. See? Marginal revenue intersect here. So they will produce this much. So how much shortage they're creating into the market? They are creating this much of shortage in the market. Here to here. Okay. So what is the price now then? If the production is in here, the price is not, don't get confused to say price here. This is not the price, guys. Price will be where where this quantity line will hit the demand curve in here. This is the price. So you can see here, since they are producing less, the price is actually higher than the equilibrium price or the market price. How much higher? This much higher they can charge. That's why they can make super profit. Make sense, guys? What they're doing? Does it make sense to you all?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. Okay, so now I will delete these things. Okay. This is the case. Now they're talking in the same thing they're going to talk in here. Okay. So you see profit maximizing under a monopoly. So where is the maximum profit? Maximum profit is where the marginal cost and marginal revenue intersect. It's the maximum profit. That's why QM. Profit maximizing production level is in here. This line. Okay. Yes. Okay. So you see here for these points, and the costing price is here. So if you draw the cost line in here, you can see the cost price is here. And this is your demand. Remember, average revenue demand curve. This is your price, average revenue. That's your price. Okay. So average cost price is higher than the average cost. So this bluely shaded one is your profit. Okay. Per unit. This is your profit. Okay. Now let's talk about monopoly versus perfect competitions. Which one best serves the consumer's interest? Monopoly or it is perfect competition market? Well, it depends.
Perfect.
Yeah, it depends because like there are some items, like a lot of people are happy enough to pay more money for a unique product. They are very happy to pay extra money for unique product differentiation. A lot of people is there, they'll pay $2,000 to buy an iPhone 11. I can't afford. Yeah. Whereas they can actually buy another $500-600. They can buy normal phone too, like other Android phone. Why people buying Apple phone? Because it's unique, special. This is called product differentiation. That's what I was trying to tell you. This is called product differentiation. Okay. $3,500 for MacBook. Oh my God, I can't imagine. A lot of money. Yes. Monopoly prices and output both in short run and long run. Here it is. So higher prices, lower output. That's how they make the price. I showed you here. The prices is higher. Remember? I showed you the price should be in here, equilibrium price. I showed you prices are higher and quantity is also they produce low quantity, charges higher prices. So this means they control the pricing. Okay. Yes. Cost under monopoly. Cost may be higher, barriers to entry. Okay. So cost can go two ways. It can have two perspectives you can discuss. You can debate on two ways. One is cost is higher. Why cost is higher? Because barriers of entry, because it needs a lot of money. Higher capital is needed. And again, at the same time, since the company is actually the only sole producer, and as a result, the suppliers, Suppliers producing only one person. Suppliers also depending on this person's how much they're gonna pay for the service they provide. You see, suppliers also get hostage. If you don't charge me less, I'm not gonna buy it. Okay, you cannot produce either, so that is one problem. Another issue is that when monopoly will say I'm producing a lot and I'm only producer, I can buy all of your item. Then what they get economies of scale, bulk purchase, cheaper price. That's they're talking about. The innovation and new product. This is interesting point. Okay, I don't know whether I showed you guys Apple Computer's profit level. Have a look. Interesting thing. Very interesting for you guys to have a look. AAPL. Okay, interesting, very interesting. You will really like it. Interesting thing. Frequency, monthly historical prices. I want to go for maximum. Apply. Okay. Now you'll see, notice the very interesting thing here. Apple Computers did not pay much dividend to their shareholders. They first came into the public market, I mean, like a registered company in stock market in December 1980s. Look, they did not pay any dividend, and their share price was only 48 cents. Look, they did not pay any dividend any year. Look, no dividend, no dividend, no dividend, nothing, no dividend. First dividend was paid in 87 in May, after 7.5 years. See that? They don't pay dividend. Why they don't pay? What do they do with the profit? They invest the money into research and development. Stock split, again, they did not pay. Stock split, okay, they pay dividend. They're paying, good payment. Again, after 95, that's it, dividend. Again, they're not paying anything. Look, not paying. No dividend, no dividend, no dividends. No. Oh, here, stock split, not dividend. That's different thing. Look, stock split again, no dividend. After 95, when did they pay again? Oh my God. Here dividend, 2012. After 17 years, they paid the dividend. What did they do with the 17 years? Interesting, 95 to 2012, during this time, Apple Computer research out iPhone, iPod, iPad, all the research came out, smartphone. They are the first company to bring into the market. That's what they did, development of business, monopoly. They have cash, they can use it. That's what they have done, research and development. That's why not everybody can actually enter into the market. Perfect competition is actually price taker. Okay, they do not have product differentiation or anything. Super normal profit can be earned in the short run, but normal profit in the long run for perfect competition. Why in the short run? Because at the beginning, when you open the business in perfect competition, that time you can make a better profit. But slowly, gradually, your profit will go as new people will be entering into the market. New entrepreneur will enter into the market. Okay. Yes. All right. So this I show you more comparison of industry equilibrium, monopoly, and perfect competition, assuming same marginal cost. So this marginal cost for perfect competition also monopoly market. So this is the average revenue, marginal revenue. That's the production line. This is your demand curve. Okay. Since this industry equilibrium, so this time your demand curve will not be horizontal line. Okay. So in perfect competition, this will be the equilibrium point. Okay. But in this market supply curve, okay, this is the equilibrium under perfect competition. Equilibrium under monopoly is not there. Why? Because they always create the shortage into the market. Okay, that's the problem. Contestable market. Okay. A perfectly contestable market is where there is a free and costless entry and exit. Costless entry and exit market. Okay, these natural monopolies, we call them. For natural monopolies, for example, like let's say, and why the market is not perfectly competitive? Why do they remain monopoly? Because the size of the market and economy of scale, it would not be able to operate on a farm minimum efficient scale. They can't, because the size is smaller of the market size, okay, is smaller, and the size of the market and the economy of scale. That's why they can't do this. If capital equipment cannot be transferred to another user, then fixed cost will be sunk cost, and thus a new firm will put off entering the industry in the first place. Sunk cost of the cost that you can recover it. Okay. There are a lot of market there that you can freely and carefully exit the market. Okay. But most of that's normally possible in perfect competition, but in monopoly market, they always go for aggressive, they always look out for some other ways not to enter into the market. Okay. Well, I think I will stop it here. Okay. And now I will ask you all, okay, I'll ask you all now to talk about our portfolio analysis. Okay. All right, let's do the portfolio analysis. How do we do this portfolio thing? I'll show you here. Okay, here is your portfolio workshop. So this is week 5, right? So you click on week 5. Okay. And we said its due date is 9th of August, 11:59. It is actually open now. Okay. So it has been open, and I'll show you. If you click on begin, you will have 10 MCQ questions in there. Okay. And it is saying, so you have true, false, MCQ, these type of questions you have. Okay. Yes.
Sir, does this cover material from week 5 only or whatever we have done?
These will cover week 5.
Okay, okay.
Okay. Yeah. So you guys can sit for the exam. Okay. All right. Let me stop sharing and let me have a check.
Sir, what was
Yes.
the exam you mentioned?
Can you please talk a little bit loudly?
Sir, you mentioned about some exam.
Yeah.
What was that?
It's portfolio I talked about.
Okay, portfolio, those short quizzes.
Yes, yes, yes.
Right, right.
It's not online quizzes. It's another thing.
Okay, right.
Okay. Yes. Okay. So I have actually checked it. Okay. So it's only from these weeks today's class.
Perfect, sir. Thank you.
Any more questions?
No, sir. Thank you.
So you guys can do it anytime from today to till, I should say it, not end of 5th of April. I should change it. It will confuse you all. Look at here when the timing is. Timing is actually in here. 9th of August, 11:55. So I'm gonna change these things in there. Okay, so you guys don't get confused here. Edit the options.
Also, sir, the other quiz is due on 9th August as well, right?
Which other quiz?
The online quizzes. I think one of them is due
You
9th
it's
August.
now? Quiz 2?
Yeah.
So if you go in all these quiz tests and all these things, you'll find. If you go in assessment overview, you'll find it in here.
Okay. Perfect.
So quiz 2, yes, 9th of August. Another one is due. Chapter 3 and 4.
All right.
Another one is due. Can you see that? Quiz 2?
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
On the screen. Yes, it is there. And also portfolio. Don't forget that. Weekly in class, here you go. This 10%, okay, we'll be considering from this 10%. Okay, I think I'll stop recording now.